How's it go, everyone? Wayne the Unknown here, and welcome to another episode of Geekin' Out, where we basically discuss everything nerd and geek related. Tonight, we are doing another segment on knowing that artist, and I'm joined here by Oregon artist Heidi Geist. How are we doing tonight, Heidi?
We're doing good. How are you?
I am doing really well. Again, thank you for coming on for this segment and everything.
hmm
And I guess, so to begin, what are you drawing tonight?
Tonight I'm working on the Childlike Empress from the Neverending Story.
Oh wow, that's a pretty old movie.
Well, I'm not the youngest artist, so
I mean, it's so how long have you been working on her for?
actually she popped into my head just the other night, and so I was doodling for most of yesterday to try and get like her image right. Like I did one sketch before, but she looked too old, so then I had to like rework it yesterday to to get her to look that young childlike image.
Like how she did back in the 80s?
Yeah, yes.
Nice. Before we continue on with this, how long have you been doing art for altogether?
Altogether, I started doing art when I was roughly about 10. Um, I just really enjoyed art in general. I always found it attractive. And then my brother brought home a graphic novel called Elf Quest, and the art in it is just so vibrant and beautiful that I couldn't resist copying it.
Nice.
My walls used to be filled with tracing paper.
Was that your very first art you did was from the book ElfQuest?
Pretty much, yeah. It started with ElfQuest. Longtime Disney lover, so I would sit there and watch Disney movies over and over again. So I loved Disney stuff. Um, but what actually got me to pick up a pencil to draw was ElfQuest. And then it kind of transitioned from ElfQuest to Sailor Moon because I was just introduced to Sailor Moon at that time.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the art for ElfQuest right now, and the art's like really has definitely has that. I was just looking at like it came out in the '70s. Definitely has that cartoonish, old cartoonish aesthetic to it.
It's very beautiful, and I find the imagery very evocative.
Makes
Um,
sense.
Wendy Penny, who does the art, just really has the what she calls the line of beauty.
Nice. Yeah, I also just look at Richard and Wendy Penny. There, you both were the creators of. I take it she was the artist and he was the writer.
Actually, both.
Really?
Um, Wendy, it was the one that started it, and then with her husband Richard, they both kind of co-created the whole story.
Very
But when
nice.
started the story,
Nice. And I take it you still have that drawing to this day.
I have some pictures of my wall from back then, but I don't think I still have the actual drawings. Um, Actually, I do have a couple. I don't share them because they're so horrible.
And that's totally understandable. Now I was looking at it was Elfquest as a comic. Have you ever like drawn anything for comics before?
Um, Not really. I did do a few classes in college for comics. I have an interest in doing comics. Um, I'm actually working one right now. I'm trying to get the story solidified before I fully jump into it. But I have been working on some character art for it, and you know, I'm getting there. I'm just so new to it that I'm it's one of those like scared to jump in kind of things.
Right, that makes again, that makes sense. It's stuff like that, definitely takes time and a lot of, readiness and being prepared to jump into something like, for book art and everything.
Yeah.
Now, so let's see here. What do you remember your very first let me rephrase that. What was the very first piece of art that you posted on social media?
Um, I think that would have to be uh what was it? One of my ElfQuest elves. Um, yeah, it was way back when. I was in school at the time in college, and I started posting some artwork that I was doing. Oh, there it is. Okay, so the first artwork piece that I put on Instagram was a color wheel that I drew for one of my art classes. And I was very inspired by the 80s hair and Gem. I don't know if you know the show Gem.
Jim and the Holograms, yeah.
Yes.
I've never seen the show, but I know a couple years ago they made a live action movie that really had nothing to do with the show.
Oh, no, it did not whatsoever. I mean, I'm not saying the show was perfect. It was made to sell toys.
All right, but
But
you gotta admit, 80s art, 80s like animation, despite how not three-dimensional it was, because I've, watched a lot of shows from the 80s like Thundercats and everything, and
Mhm.
the facial animations weren't really that great, but the art style was, really wonderful.
Oh yeah, I was actually born in the 80s, so that was that was my stuff. I loved 80s.
Nice. So you said your very first thing was a color wheel?
Yes. It was a color wheel project. Um, so basically we had to create something that represented the color wheel. And so I chose to do this girl with this just like big ol' hair, and each section of hair was a different part of the color wheel. And it was fun.
Nice. Do you remember how long that took you to draw and color in and everything?
Um, I think I managed it in like a night because we were given the assignment and then like something just like sparked. And I was like, I know what I have to draw. And then she just managed to appear on my page.
Yep, I'm looking at it right now. Yeah, you posted it in February 8th of 2017.
Mm-hmm.
80s glam rocker color wheel. I like how you definitely gave her that rainbow effect. It looks really well done. I'm like looking at the other art, and you definitely have like a lot of especially Disney and video game and anime inspired artwork.
Yes. That's what I gravitate to the most.
Very nice. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. I can definitely tell you have like your own unique style for it looks like from Chibi to look like it came out of like the movie and stuff like your Lilo Wonder Woman.
Thank you. That was part of an Inktober that I assigned myself. So it was take something Disney, but apply, just like Halloween costumes since it's Inktober.
Right.
Like I started with the goofy Gaston as a schoolgirl, and then I went for like Tinkerbell as a nurse. Um, I really liked my Pinocchio as Prince Charming.
Yep, I
Uh,
see that. Yeah, okay, now I'm looking at
yep.
Gaston as
Nani as
it's
Baywatch Babe.
it definitely and then you got Snow White looking like she came from Top Gun.
Yep. Yeah,
Nice.
and then I had sketches for two more, but they didn't get finished. Like my classwork assignments piled on, and Inktober had to be set aside.
Uh, Again, the stuff like I mean, stuff like that happens. I know there's a lot of people out there who would love to be full-time artists, but they have like daily life stuff always getting in the way.
Life
And
gets in the
and
way.
I do commend those who do this for full time.
I feel they are very lucky
Yeah.
because, yeah, I mean, I would love to say that I'm a full-time artist, but I'm also a stay-at-home mom, so like I have to balance that, with doing art.
Right. Now when it comes to art, what would you say out of all the art you've done, what would you say the one that took you the longest? Like it took like a week or so, or even longer to not only like draw out but also color in as well.
Well, the longest piece that I've worked on was it was a commission that I finished just recently. Um, like the actual time it took me to do it on the iPad said it was only 22 hours, but in actuality it took me months.
Jeez.
Because it was a lot. It was a commission for this gal who runs Nightmare Toys in Las Vegas.
Nightmare Toys. I don't think I've ever heard of that before.
It's a store in Las Vegas that's dedicated to all things horror.
Okay, I'm looking at it right. Okay, looking for horror film collectibles. Okay.
Anyways, a friend of the owner contacted me and he's like, I need this commission done of my friend. Um, she loves horror, and so I ended up doing this piece where it was her in the center, and actually, I can show you.
Would it say "Welcome to Fabulous Las Vegas with Baby Devils"?
Nope, it's this piece right here.
Okay. Oh, nice.
I
All right.
haven't been able to post it on social media quite yet.
Well, I mean, for those who watch this, we'll see. All right, you got Freddy, you got Jason, you got the clown from Terrifier, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, Chucky's head, and the robot from Chopping Mall.
Yes, Killbot.
Oh wow, yeah, that's just like definitely like 80s and like late 2000s horror right there in itself.
Yep, it was a lot of research for all the different, you know.
Oh yeah, I'm familiar with all those horror icons.
So yeah, I ended up doing this as a commission and then had it printed as a large poster. Um, and
Nice.
yeah, she got
Um,
it for Christmas.
it looks really well done.
Thank you.
Out of all the characters in that, who was the hardest one to draw?
To be honest, it was Killbot.
From Chopping Mall? I can
Yeah,
see
because like I'm a very organic drawer. I love drawing things that have those organic lines.
like skin and everything.
People, plants, mostly people, mostly women. I love the female form and its curves.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of curves and a lot, there's a lot more you can do when it comes to drawing female characters. I mean, I'm not trying to sound sexist or anything, but
Right.
there's
Well,
there's
they
there's more
have,
depth and features in a female
as
character than in a male character.
as Wendy Penny would put it, they have the line of beauty.
Wendy Penny, I,
So
I don't know what that. Oh, the
that's the artist for
from
ElfQuest.
ElfQuest.
Yeah. They have this beautiful curves to it. So it's more enticing.
No, I can definitely. But yeah, now looking at your art, it's definitely you definitely have your own like again your own style, and you definitely like to add in a bunch of stuff like from a bunch of '80s aesthetic.
Yes, I love the 80s.
Nice. Now on to your first time being an artist for a convention. What was that like?
Uh, it was nerve-wracking. I ended up sharing a table with a friend of mine at I think it was the fourth Medford. It was the third or the fourth Medford Comic Con, and like it was my first time ever doing something like that. I didn't know how many prints to make. I didn't know what was going to sell, and all that stuff. So it was very, very nerve-wracking.
But I imagine it was fun though.
It was fun. The only unfortunate thing was during that one, the way that the vendors were set up was they had the main hall and then they had some vendors in a room off the side of the main
I know
hall.
which one you're talking about. That where it's like very cramped up, and they give you like that ticket thing to let only like a certain amount of people in at a time.
Yes, yes, but then there was a tiny room outside of the hall and they put some of us artists there. So we didn't get like the natural flow of traffic.
You just got to feel like stragglers here and there.
Yeah, basically would people would pass by the open door and then they'd be like, "Oh, there's some artists in there. I'll walk through." But that was like it. And it was very disappointing.
And how many times have you been a artist at conventions?
Total of what, five? I think it's about five. Because of the situation with my kids and whatnot, I can't really travel for conventions, which is unfortunate. I would like to. Um, but yeah, I haven't been able to travel much for them. So I've only been able to do like the local Medford one, and then I did the Annie, or not the Annie, but I did the Meadowlark this last fall.
Nice. What kind of art did you what pieces did you have for sale at your booth for from Animed for 2021? I mean Meadowlark
Uh,
2021.
yeah, the Meadowlark I had the Labyrinth piece. I had a Who piece. Um, I had a Lore Olympus, Sailor Moon. Uh, I had some Avatar: The Last Airbender and Korra as well.
Nice. Man, speaking of your Lore Olympus, I'm looking at it right now. I can't imagine how long that took, and I looking at it how it does the art style definitely has that Sailor Moon to it.
Well, it's kind of a homage to Sailor Moon.
I can definitely I can see it, and I have to say I really have to commend you how you made Persephone's dress kind of like that see-through type dress.
Mhm. Yeah, I definitely wanted to pay homage to, that iconic imagery of, Sailor Moon sleeping and, tuxedo mask there. But I definitely wanted to give it its own,
You
Laura
gave it
Lewis.
you gave it like a '90s look to it, in a sense.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
Again, it's not bad. It's really well done.
Thank you. Yeah, it was also a different, just a slightly different art style for me. Normally, I use like pretty crisp lines, but for that one, I wanted it to be softer with the rougher lines, so that it all kind of blends a bit more.
Oh, I can definitely see it. It's got that, it's definitely a smooth and everything. So I gotta ask, while we're on that, how did you go about making her dressed where it looks like it's like that see-through dress? I'm kind of curious in a way because I've rarely see an art like that, and I can't imagine that wasn't easy.
Um, Actually, if you observe fabric, it's actually not too difficult. Um, it was mostly just turning down the opacity of the brush so that when you're coloring, it's slightly see-through. I don't know if I can do a quick example of, let's see here. Um,
While you're doing that, what
sure.
is your favorite brush to use when you're doing your art?
Sometimes my favorite is definitely the airbrush. I love the airbrush.
Okay, I see. Okay.
So yeah, I love airbrushing. So then to like be able to see through it, you just kind of pick something lighter, and then you just slowly.
Oh, whoa, okay. That's
So
pretty cool.
instead of just like a hard line, it's just you gotta softly build it up
Okay.
so that it almost becomes transparent.
Oh, I mean, that's again, really well done. How long did it take you to do that, the Lower Olympus Sailor Moon crossover, piece?
Um, that took me at least 3 hours of like dedicated
Three,
drawings.
3 hours?
Yeah,
That looks like it took you longer. 3 hours? That's really impressive.
it's I have a very strong muse, and when she says something, I have to do it.
And I can honestly, and I even see your name hidden in the drawing as well, aside from the your little one on the bottom where you can like fully see it. But I can like I look close, I can see your like hidden. I can see your signature hidden in the picture.
Oh, yeah, I was just kind of keeping I don't know, tabs on people because I've seen people steal so often.
Right. I mean that's clever where you can like again. Uh, let's see here now. So, back to I can't remember her name. The person you're drawing from Never Ending Story. What brush are you using for this one?
For the line art, I usually use the technical pen. This for me gives a pretty smooth line, so
Okay,
I can get
nice.
pretty art, line work.
Again, I mean, it's really impressive work.
Thank you.
Now when it comes to on the topic of commissions, aside from the one you did for your friend for that horror store, what would you say your other favorite commission has been that you've done?
Uh, I did. I think it's on my Instagram. It's the one of Appa and Katara.
I see the one of.
I had a mom contact me over Facebook, and she said that her daughter was really, really into Avatar: The Last Airbender,
Oh, I
but
see it. Okay.
she couldn't find any art that was just of, her daughter's two favorite characters,
Which is
which is
Appa
Appa.
and Katara.
Yeah. So she commissioned me to do this piece for a poster. Um, and I just created this cute little, like, Appa and Katara hanging out scene in the snow. Um, and she absolutely loved it. Like, I got a picture of right after when she opened it up.
Aw.
and just looking super happy. And I love that. I love that, my art can bring such joy.
Oh no, it's. I'm looking at it right now, and they look like they came straight out of the TV show.
Yeah.
How long did that piece take you to do?
Um, that piece went through a couple of revisions. So I'd say a dedicated at least 15 hours. Um, like most of the time when artists talk about, you know, the time it took to create a piece, there's like the dedicated time to actually working on the piece, but there's so much time, just doing the research. Half an art piece is doing research before you even fully draw it.
I wholeheartedly believe it. I imagine you had to look through a lot of like different sources online just to find the right one that'd be, right to draw.
Yep. Yep. I've looked at so many pictures of the childlike empress lately.
How many speaking of, how many references did you have to go through before, you found what you were looking for to draw her? Again, I keep on
uh,
drawing a blank of her name.
I believe her actual name is like Moonchild. Um, but they refer to her in the movie as the childlike empress. Um, yeah, Moonchild is the name she gets at the end of the film.
Okay.
Um, yeah, because that's like his whole journey in the movie is to, give her a name.
Okay. Yeah, it's been a while since I've um seen the Neverending Story movies or even watched the animated TV show that came out in like the early 2000s.
Oh, yeah, I don't touch any of those.
Totally understandable.
I
Um,
only stick with the base movie.
the very first one, yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's understandable. A lot of people aren't really a fan of the sequel
Oh,
or
it's
of something I would like to, some movie I would like to cover on later down the road for a podcast review episode.
uh-huh. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
So, do you have any other big pieces you'd like to share? Usually, one question I ask when I do like my cosplay con talk one, like, what's your least favorite piece that you ever done? Like, it's a piece that took a long time, but it was also kind of frustrating. It's one you would never want to like do again.
Um, let's see here. It was a commission piece. This one. Turn that off. Yeah, it was this one. It took so long. I was trying to get everything right on it, and yeah, it took a lot.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it looks like it took a lot. I imagine you get a lot of commissions where people want you to draw them into whatever whatever their fandom is.
Yeah, there for a while, I was getting a lot of Avatar
Everyone loves Avatar.
one, like,
Oh
like,
my!
like this one I did. Oh, I
What
didn't even.
what what are those that they're sliding on? That they're sitting
Those
on?
are the little like penguin seals.
I'm not really familiar with Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh, so like the animals in Avatar: The Last Airbender are basically combination animals. Like these are penguin seals, there's like turtle ducks and whatnot. So these are penguin seals. and this guy commissioned me to draw him and his wife, and sledding on the penguin seals.
It's really
And I
well
thought,
done.
thank
Is
you.
that Linkle or from Legend of Zelda? I see
Uh,
the one with the green hood above.
oh no, this was a random D&D drawing I did.
Okay, I saw the hood and I saw the blonde hair and it kind of reminded me of Linkle, the female version of Link that was introduced in
Oh.
Hyrule Warriors.
No, I do a lot of D&D drawings. Um, it's one of the things that kept me going in high school. Um, was D&D. So I like here's a character I did. This was such a base sketch. Um, she's she's a character I made who's a paladin, who's a mother of seven, and she's just going out on adventures. So yeah, I've got D&D characters mixed in with my own creations, with fan creations.
Nice.
Um, yeah.
Angry spaghetti.
This was for the video game oh gosh, what was it called? Carnivore? I can't remember. But anyways, it's where you play literally just this blob of murderous mucus with tentacles. And yeah, I created Angry Spaghetti.
Is that the so you created a character from the game or for the game?
I it's kind of like I would call it like a chibi version of the creature.
Okay, while I go back to your thing, I gotta look up this character now. While you're um
I can't remember what it exactly was called. Uh, yeah, it was an indie game, so
I'll look it up eventually later. Let's see.
but my other favorite thing to do is Chibis. So I absolutely love Chibis, and one of the things I'm working towards is doing a series of Chibis for like 80s and 90s movies.
Yeah, I actually noticed that you did the Sanderson sisters from Hocus Pocus in chibi form.
I did the Sanderson sisters. I did Labyrinth Chibis. One of my newer Chibis was Anaxana Moon from The Mummy.
Yeah, I actually saw that. Really well done, especially with her the outfit she gets first introduced to in the first film.
Yeah, the whole gold painting and yeah. No, I
Um,
just
do
it's
you,
it's one of my goals.
nice. Do you plan on doing one for Imhotep next?
Um, I don't have Emotep planned just yet, but I can give you a sneak peek
All right. For those who are watching this, we'll get a little sneak peek.
of what's coming.
Yeah, this won't be out for a while, so I imagine you'll have it up by then. But so okay, who
So
is?
there's Jonathan with his bag of loot. These are just sketches.
I love it.
Um, and
uh,
then there's Evie.
Evie with her little glasses. So you're basically like making characters from the first Mummy film that came out in the 90s. The Rick
Yeah,
o It looks like you're halfway done with Rick O'Connell.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I'm trying to study some gun there.
Oh, I
'Cause,
can see. Yeah, I can see. I can see. Got Jonathan, Evie,
yeah, I got
Rick.
Jonathan and Rick and Evie.
I
But
can.
I do
I.
plan on having Emotep as well.
Oh, and Ardette Bay. Nice.
Yep, an artist.
Ardette, nice. Um,
To eventually sell as a series of stickers. And
I'm. That's. I mean, that's pretty cool. Honestly, Now when it comes to drawing people,
Hmm.
what are the out of the main three parts of the body, which one's hardest to draw? Hands, feet, or eyes?
Um, I think it would be, I guess, hands. I don't find them particularly too hard, but they are one of the more difficult body features to draw. Mm.
When I was looking at your I was looking at when I was looking at your Lore Olympus one, you did a really good job on Persephone's hands.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't usually find myself having too much trouble with hands. Unless it's like a really, really difficult hand position
Like, what would be a good example of a difficult hand position that you have drawn?
that I have drawn. Um, Goodness. I think that would have to be the hands on my Sailor Venus that I did. Her hands are, she's trying to like half play with and half hold Artemis.
Yeah,
And so,
I actually saw that one in your Instagram.
yeah, that was the hands on that were difficult. Because they also requested a different style than what I normally do. So it was just something that was a little bit more difficult. But
Gotcha.
I enjoyed it. It's always fun to push your skills.
Oh no, most definitely. What would you say the shortest project you ever done was like? It only took you like a few minutes or like an hour to do.
Um, that would probably be like my boba tea series.
Oh, the Sailor Moon Boba Tea.
Yeah, those are pretty quick, and I was able to whip them up rather
Nice.
fast.
Well, what was the inspiration behind the Sailor Scout Boba Teas?
Um, I don't know. I just saw some really cute imagery of like different themed boba teas, and then I thought to myself, what would the Sailor Scouts each, look like with their own themed boba teas?
Nice. Uh, how long do those take altogether?
Um, Not very long altogether because a lot of times on things like that, once you create some assets, you can quickly reuse them to save time. So once I was able to create like one cup, I was able to then, reproduce it and recolor it pretty quickly.
Nice. We got about a few more minutes here. Um, any advice you like to give to those who are considering on getting into art, whether it's pencil art or digital art?
Um, Honestly, just observe the world around you. Like most of the time, people are like, "How do you draw people?" And it's mostly just observing. Like half of what I draw is stuff that I've stored in my head from just observing, everyday people. How does their body move? What is that pose? And I like to break it down. So it's to me, it's just observing.
I mean,
And I fully encourage people to go draw. Like, just do it. If you don't think you can do it because you don't have the talent, half the time it's not about talent. It's about, you know, working at it. Just keep trying.
oh no, I mean, I can't argue with that. Um, one thing I also forgot to ask, what art program are you using? Is it Procreate?
Yes.
I imagine that's like the most common. Um, I'm not no, I'm not trying to bash on the program, but I know that's like the one that and Adobe something. A
Oh,
lot of
the Adobe Suite.
yeah, a lot of like artists, digital artists use that. And what are you said you're also using an art tablet or a regular tablet?
I am using an iPad.
Nice. And I know that's again another artist I interviewed. I think it was Crooked Pinky Fingers. He was using the same program.
Yeah, Chris. I know Chris personally. We went to school together, so
He was definitely a fun person to interview.
he's a delightful person.
Nice. Um, I guess real.
Yeah,
Go
I
ahead.
well, it's one of those things. The iPad is one of the easiest tools to obtain, to give you almost the same feeling as drawing on paper.
And plus, I imagine it's a little bit cheaper than buying an art tablet.
Yes, a big old art tablet costs thousands. And
I believe it.
yeah.
What was it? Oh yeah. One more another thing I forgot to ask. Well, when you started using Procreate, what was the very first piece you drew on there when you got your tablet?
Uh, One of my first avatars, um, I created my my goodness. My my avatar has evolved, but when I first drew her, I had like bright red hair and whatnot. So that was one of the first things that I drew while messing on my tablet was my avatar.
And I imagine the one that we're using for the thumbnail is your most recent avatar.
Yes.
Nice. Um, let's see. I'm trying to think here. I feel like I've asked almost every question that I could think of. Oh, actually, one more. I know I asked this before, but what would you say your one favorite piece is? Like, it's a piece you always enjoy looking at, no matter, how long it's been since you've done it.
Oh goodness. Uh, uh, let's think. Piece. I think it would have to be a piece that I did. It's a traditional piece. It is on my Instagram. It's the one in the frame. It's a character of mine. Her name is Ariana, and she's kind of in a Muka style.
Muka, I have no idea what that is.
Muka is an Art Nouveau artist, so he's got very fluid lines. Um, yeah, if you look on my Instagram, it's right next to my Leia chibi.
Oh, okay. Oh, the one wearing the green dress.
Yes,
Okay. My Muka final all frame ready. How long did she take to make?
she took several days, from sketching to uh, traditionally enlarging the sketch so that I could get her on the big poster type board, and then it's not paint that I used. I used Copic markers for that one. So it was just a lot of
You used what?
Copic markers.
I have no idea what those are.
They're wonderful alcohol blending markers.
Okay.
So when you use them, the color blends together a bit better than, say, your pack of Crayola.
I take it that's what you used for your Aloy and Tiny Watcher drawing.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I saw that. I saw your Aloy and Watcher. I gotta say that's Really
I love
cool.
them. I love that game. That game is. I have a piece planned to come out soon for the new game release.
Oh, the Forbidden West.
Yes, that game entranced me so much. I played it. Well, actually, my husband played it. I watched, but we finished it in about a week.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a spring break, and we just went through the whole game, and it was amazing.
Nice. I guess before we end this, any last minute thing you'd like to add, advice, stuff in general?
Um, I mean, for anybody who's interested, I have a bunch of stuff on an Etsy store. I'm selling art prints and keychains and pins and stickers, lots of stickers. People absolutely love my Appa sticker.
Oh, the one where he's like licking the
Yep, I have him as a clear window sticker, so you can put him up on your cars. He's like licking the window.
Oh, I love it.
I love him so much.
And to anyone who's listening, links to her Etsy and Instagram will be in the description below.
Yeah, and anybody who wants to contact me, feel free. Always open to chatting.
And be sure to keep an eye out for any future con as well.
Yes, as soon as I have something in place, I will let people know.
Again, Heidi, thank you for coming on to this episode of Geeking Out in the segment Knowing That Artist.
Yeah, it was fun.
And as always, I am Wayne the Unknown. Thank you for listening, and until next time, thank you for watching.